Hello friends, my name is Shivam from DevOps Schools and I will help you to enable your learning process in various technologies of DevOps, artificial intelligence, machine learning, big data and many more. This is our initiative to help you by sharing multiple tutorials and videos. And if you want any specific tutorials on any particular topic, then please do comment in the below comment section and I will help you with it. Also, please subscribe to our premium services on YouTube, which will give you access to more content and videos to enhance your knowledge about all these topics. Also, if you want me to help you with regards to the online trainings and classroom sessions by our qualified trainers, then please do write me at contact@devopsschool.com. Thank you.
So now we will try the commands for the monitoring the containers. So we have 5 commands which is basically can help you to monitor the containers like a logs, ps, stats, top and event. So let's understand this. So first command which we have is logs. Okay, so how can we start this logs command? So basically guys, logs command will fetch a log of a container, and basically it's a PID1 log. Okay, so PID1 log, let me prove it here. So see here, docker ps. Right now I have this container right now, let's say Ubuntu container. This is the container. Right now it's up from last 36 minutes. So if I do docker logs and see, I have nothing. Okay, but if I duplicate the session, log in the same machine, sudo -s, and same container, if I go attach to it, okay, docker attach, remember attach, we always do the PID1. Okay, and then if I do ls, and now if you see ls, now if I see top, and here you see top, so this is the output. So basically here you get the PID1 logs of it. So whichever the, let's say you are running some command, any command you are running, so right now any command you are running here, so you can get the status here, logs and container. Okay, so that way you can find out what you need and what you don't need it. So logs, again, if I try a different container, let's say Jenkins container, this is the container, so they must be having some logs of Bintini, right? You will see that. So docker logs, and you see this is the Bintini log. So yes, this log command will help you with the PID1 log. This is how it is. So PID1 log is being shown with this logs command. Just try it out, you will love it. I think ps command we know that very well, we've been trying since yesterday morning, so I'll just skip it. Now stats command is very powerful command again. Now stats command will give you lots of statistics about the containers. Now which are the statistics? So basically it will give you the CPU consumptions by the container, RAM, disk, you know, and network, everything it will give you in the stats command. So let's understand this. So clear the screen, docker stats, spelling mistake here, and you see here, now these are the 5 containers I'm having with the different names, and look at this percentage of CPUs being utilized, memory utilized, limit utilized, and all this stuff, network input output, block input output, and pits also. So all these containers is host machine. Here these pits, when I say 35, 182, all this, whatever they are you are running inside that container, of inside of what do you say, the processes whatever you're running. So here see memory net. So if you want to do that to get individual containers stats, that is also possible. So this way you can get the monitoring done. Actually stats will help you to all these things, so that's why it will be, you'll get the monitoring done. Infra monitoring, it you can get it done. So this command you can use it and see that how it goes. and stuff like that. Okay, now next command which I see is a top command. Top command is also very good informational command actually. So what kind of information you get it from here? So guys, top command will give you the process ID of that container on the host machine. I mind it, I said host machine. Let's say Docker PS. Right now I have a 5 containers running. Now how do I know in the host machine, if I grab this container D, grab container D, how do I know these are the 5 containers? Which one belong to which process ID? There's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How do I know this process ID, this process ID, this process ID belong to which container? So easiest way is Docker top and then container ID. And I got to know 5142, which and then 5123 is a PPID. So this is the one. For this container, this is the process ID, parent process ID on the host machine. So this way you can trace back the parent process ID on the host machine and find out who's that PID. So very powerful command. You have it. You can try it out and then see how it goes. Okay, I'm updating the notes also. Okay, now let's try the next command, event command. So see guys here, before events command, understand that if you want to get a log of container, logs. If you want to see the container runtime up and running or not, PS. If you want to know CPU, RAM, network, disk, network, and all stuff like that, stats. If you want to monitor the host process ID, top. But any command, do we have any command which will help me to monitor the Docker server itself? Yes, I repeat, Docker server. So do we have any command for it? Docker daemon, Docker server. This is the command, Docker event command. So Docker event command will help you to monitor the Docker server itself. How can it work? Let's understand that. So I'll just type Docker events command. And if you feel system got stuck or something like that has happened, nothing has happened. You're monitoring live. You're monitoring live a Docker event command. Okay. By the way, you can get it that from the non-interactive mode also. So for that, there's one options must be there, and that is called sense. This is the sense timing you can set until format, output format. So here, help format. So I think limited documents are there, but here you can also get it using the Go template. Okay, this is a different one using Go template, Golang template. But filter also you can do that. Okay, so here this is the way you can get the Docker daemon logs, Docker daemon events logs. But right now nothing is coming. So what we do in this case? So I would like to open up a new console here, and here and here what I'm going to do, see here, I exited one container, and see here when I exited one container die, network disconnected. See the when you exit any container, this is what it happens. Container will die, exit code you have 13 130 I guess, and then network get disconnected. What about if I create some container? So let's create some container here. So Docker run -itd Ubuntu. I created container. See what happened. Look at this, these 3 lines. I created a container, the network got connected, then container got started. So this is the 3 things happen here. Now let's say if I want to do Docker run -d with a Jenkins image. I created one more container. See in this Jenkins image, these are the 4 things has happened, 5 things. You see volume got created, container got created, network got connected, volume got mount, and container got started. Now here volume is also happening. So what is a volume? I'll talk about in the upcoming session. But yeah, who decide that what should be done in the images and all? You will decide while creating the images. So I'll teach you images also. So this way you can monitor the events also. This way you can monitor the events also. So try it out, this command, very simple command, and you have to have a two consoles to try it out, this command and events. Okay, so guys, these are the commands which we use to monitor the containers: logs, ps, stats, top, and events. Any questions so far? Any questions so far? Any questions, guys?
This conference will now be recorded.
Before understanding about the images, before creating an images, we have to understand what is an images. Yes, you must be thinking, I taught you about what is images, and here I said very clearly, Docker images is equal to root file system, user file system, and application file system. When I say root file system, it can be Ubuntu, or when I say apps, it can be Java, Jenkins, or anything. So you can find the same thing in the images. Okay, so every time you will find the root file system for sure. Okay, but if you look at the VMs images, you find the boot file system also together. That's called kernel. Okay, so also I taught you one copy of image, Docker image, get mounted to each container, each user Akka container. Okay, and from one image you can create a multiple container that we have discussed so far. But now I'll give you the little bit a different perspective. Okay, different perspective. Okay, if you want to understand that, one more things I would like to recall that discussion which we did yesterday. What is registry? Look at this here. Registry contain repository. A repository contain version of file system. This version of file system is equal to root file system, user file system, and applications file system. It's a file system. Now the question, if you have forgotten what is file system, so here I said file system is nothing but a collections of files and directory for specific purpose. Okay, specific purpose. Okay, so the some of the types of the file system is boot file system, root file system, app file system, and user file system. With that information in the background, let's understand what is image. Okay, so guys, what is an image? So image is nothing but a collections of file system. Yeah, image is nothing but a collections of file system, and these collections, they these collections of file system, like a multiple file system, like a root file system, okay, user file system, application file system, multiple application file system. Okay, so these file systems, they are on top of each other. Basically these are layered on top of each other, and that is the reason instead of we call a file system, instead of calling file system, we call it layer. Layer 1, layer 0, layer 1, layer 2, layer X, layer M, and P, all this stuff. So image is made up of the file system which is layered over each other, such as layer 0, 1, 2. Now see here, all these layers coming together and forming one image. So if you see here very carefully this image, okay, very carefully, there is a layer 0, layer 1, layer 2. Now from the layer 0 you can create one image which will have only one layer. But you know what, from the layer 1 also you can create one image, but image 1 will have a layer 1 and layer 0 also. Same goes with the layer 2 also. From the layer 2 also you can create one image, image 2. But this image 2, if you create a container from this image, you will have a files from the layer 0, layer 1, layer 2, all together. Okay, so from this image, if you see there are 3 layers, so you can create a 3 images. But image 0 will have only layer 0, image 1 will have layer 0 plus layer 1 and the content, and then image 2 will have a layer 2 as well. So it's a file system. Okay, so this is your image. Are you understanding it? What is your image? What is a Docker image? Okay, so now guys, you must be thinking, okay, fine, these layers are nothing but a file system. We call it layer because this is on top of each other. But what it contains, what each layer can contain. So guys, always the bottom layer contain the root file system. It can be Ubuntu root file system. I'm not saying Ubuntu operating system. Remember here, I'm saying Ubuntu root file system, Ubuntu root file system, CentOS root file system, or Debian, SUSE, Linux, this, that, and all stuff like that. So layer zero will be always a root file system for some specific popular images of operating system. Root file system, not a boot file system. Boot file system you have in the host machine also only. And then a subsequent layer, you will find a different kind of software. For example, here you have Nginx software in layer 1. When I say Nginx, that means only the files which you have, files and directory of Nginx you will have in the layer 1. Now Ubuntu update, those files will be written in the layer 2. So different layers, you have a different files, actually files and directories. You can have all this thing in one layer also, that's not a problem. But to have a better management of upgrade and rollback and work efficiently, we have a different changes in the different layer. So here we have, these are the each layer, each file system will have a different content. Okay, now from all these layers coming together forming one image, and from that you can create as many containers you want it. So single layer shared by multiple containers. Okay, so here if you see that, if I go by this image, so in that each container you will find the root file system of Ubuntu Nginx plus updates in one go. What happens, so all these layers get merged together and create one copy. I repeat, all these layers, all these file system get merged together, create one copy and attach to the container. That's the reason I've been telling you since yesterday morning, each container get one mount. Mount means this is the mount file system. Okay, so whatever you have in the image you see inside the container. That's all, very simple. Whatever you have in image you see inside the container. Okay, so this is what it happens. Okay, now look at this. How can we identify each layer then? So guys, I think you have seen it, this one, and inspect command you might have seen it as well. So each layer is identified by unique ID from the SHA-256 algorithm. Each layer, remember, each layer is a file system, we call it layer, and each layer has certain files and directories. And how can you identify? So it's assigned with a UUID. Let me tell you, this UUID is assigned by SHA-256 algorithm, and this is universally unique ID. When I say universally unique ID, that means that ID you will not get anywhere else on this planet. That is a claimed by SHA-256. So that's a universally unique ID. That means whatever the layers you have written, that is universally unique. That means duplication of the data can be avoided easily. Okay, so here each layer is having UUID. So now with that in context, we have to understand these three statements. Okay, please read it. I will just pause for a few seconds. Three statements, please read it. Higher layer always win when there is a conflict in layer. Image layering is accomplished through union mount. Layering is done by union mounts. So what union mount is doing? Union mount allows to mount multiple file system over top of each other, but combining all of the layers, single view, giving this application OS single regular everyday file system. All layers are read only except the top layers. So these are the for statement you have to understand. Before that, me explaining you these points, I would like to prove all these images anatomy. So here I said few things. Let's understand this. I said image has multiple layers. Okay. Now I said each layer is each layer is a file system. Is file system. Here layer 0 is always root file system. There's a many spelling mistakes which I'm having right now here and there, so please ignore it. Always a root file system. Okay. Now what happens when we create a container, all the layers get merged into one and mounted to container process. Okay. So this is what I said so far. So let's prove it. So this is machines which I'm using right now. Do we have multiple container? Let me show you. See here, multiple containers are there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete all the containers using stopping all the containers in one go and removing all the containers in one go. Done. So guys, you see here, there's no containers right now. I'm just doing the clean demo so you'll understand this. Do we have images here? So let's check it out. Images. I have so many images. I'm going to delete all the images. Why? Because I want you to understand this. So I'm going to delete all the images. I'm doing the from scratch. Again, if you want any images, just a matter of 2 to 3 seconds or 5 seconds, you'll get it all the images. I'll delete all the images. See here, RMI is the command to delete all the images. And you see here, it's a clean system. Right now I have no images. Right now I have no containers. Everything is okay. Now I will do Docker info. And I would like to know where is the location of the Docker root. So it says where live Docker. Okay, cool. So I'll go inside this cd docker var live docker. Now here I see multiple directories are there, but I don't know where the layers are getting stored. So I will just do the Docker info one more time. And if I go to the device storage driver, here it's overlay 2. That means it can be overlay 2, it can be overlay, it can be device mapper, it can be ops also. So overlay 2. That means all the layers will get stored in this directory. Remember, that is how I trace it. Okay. So you have a different platform. This is the way I'm tracing. You should trace also. Okay. So but here I see multiple directories are there. I don't know what exactly this is. So let's understand this. So this is the directory which I am having right now, and we should discuss about this. Okay. Before that, some of the commands which I would like to run, which I did run here, I'm going to copy paste here. So you'll also try it out, but don't try to run blindly. Use with some logic so you'll understand that. So now here some of the directories are there and we should get comfortable with it. So what is here? So this directory is basically meta info for the containers. Meta info for the containers. I repeat, meta info means not it is not having the files and directories, the data layers. It has a meta information. Okay. Again, this will have a meta information for the images, image name, environment, network settings, and all the stuff like that. Okay. Now this is for the networking. Now I have not discussed about the networking, so I'm not going to confuse you more, but this I will talk about the networking topic, which is a part of the session. I'll talk about it. Now guys, this is the place where the layers are there. Okay. This is the place where image data layer are present. Okay. I'll show you this one. This I will use a lot now. This is for the plugins. This is for the SWAM. It's out of the things. And this is a volumes. I have not discussed about it. So I'll discuss about the volumes later on. Okay. So these two topics, network volumes, once I cover, then you will understand that these directories is for the volumes and these directories for the networking meta information. Okay, so for time being, here the most important focused directory is overlay. So let's go inside this. Let's go inside this. So cd overlay 2. Here I am, pwd. Look at my screen, all of you. Okay, do I have something here? 0 bytes, nothing is there. You see that nothing is there. Now what I'll do, I'll download one of the images. I'm downloading only one of the images, small simple images. I'm downloading the Ubuntu images. Okay, and here pulling, you see that's the unique character. That's a layer ID actually. So here 3 pool has happened. I see that 3 pool has happened. That means I assume that there must be 3 layers actually. Here it is. So you have a 3 layers. Okay, so now each one of these layers are lying on top of each other. So you want to see that each layer what it contains. So I would like to know which is the root file system, the belowest one. So there's multiple commands are there. First you do the images, inspect command, which you know very well. Now you can utilize it. Inspect command, here it is, and you see these are the layers IDs. Okay, don't try to match the numbers here, this directory and this layer ID. This is the layer ID, this is the directory ID. So both are different. All this is managed by SHA-256 algorithm. So don't get into that phase. Here just match the numbers, that will be easier for you. So right now here 3 layers, 3 directory structures which we have, all are identify the unique ID, 40 character hash value and stuff like that. Okay, so now I want to know which is the bottom layer, which is the root file system. I would like to know. So here one of the trick I will play with the Linux command, and that is du -h sh -max depth is equal to 1. So there's a h right here. So if I look at this here, here B is 74 MB BEE and C 44 KB 12K A. Also you can do this history command, will tell you the how many commits has happened in this image. So docker history Ubuntu, and it will tell you the how many commits has happened. So here see here 1 commit, 2 commit, 3 commit, 4 commit, and finally you got the images. This is the image ID. Okay, so if you see the docker images, the F6 is the image ID. So docker images, see F6 is the image ID. So here we have 4 commits, but here if you look at this very carefully, I have a 4 commits done, but I have only 3 layers in this image. So how come? So basically if you look at this size here, then you will get the answer here. See here, this is 72 MB. This is the files and directories. It's still bytes, still few files will be there. Here still bytes, few files or some same links will be there, but here you have nothing. So this has nothing. So this is called metadata, meta layer. All here you have 4 layers, out of which 3 layers is data layers, 1 layer is meta layers. Okay, meta layers means no information. So where the meta layers will be stored? Meta layers will be stored in this directory. Okay, sorry, this directory image. Okay, so this is the how you have to understand this ecosystem. So now I got to know, okay, which is the highest one? This is the one. So can we go inside this layer and see that what exactly is there? Now here you have a diff directory. You have to go inside the diff directory. And now you see here. Have you seen this somewhere? Anyone? Have you seen this somewhere?
Yeah, the Linux
Yes,
operating
sir.
system.
File system.
Not operating system. It's a root file
File
system. Please,
system. Root file system.
because earlier when we were in a physical servers era and virtual servers era, if you say okay CentOS operating system, this okay. But when we are in a container world, we will say container root file system of CentOS operating system. So it's the only root file system, not a. It has no boot. Remember, it has no boot. Okay. So this is the root file system. Okay, now if you want to see go other layers, let's check it out here. Only the changes meta information will be there. So let's check it out. I don't know what exactly it is, but you can check it out again. Nothing wrong in it. So now here you see diff location, you go and you see only run is there. I don't know what exactly it contains, but some files will be there. Okay, so that is the kind of thing. So here what I was trying to teach you is images has multiple layers. I showed you each layer is nothing but a file system which I showed you.
To watch our complete session, enroll for our premium membership.
Click onto the join button and enroll yourself with the best suited option.
Root layer 0 is a root file system which I showed you. When you create a container, all layers get merged into one and mounted to the container process. So now I'll show you this the last statement. Okay, let me prove this last statement. So here what I'm going to do is I go back. I don't have to go back though, because you can run the command docker command from anywhere, but I just want to be showing you something. Here you have 3 layers: docker run -itd ubuntu. Now you know this command why I'm adding -itd and all stuff like that, because I want to keep the containers running. See here, container got created, and you see ls. Look at this here very carefully. Sorry, this one. So there's a one init has come, which is a runtime environment. If I look at the size of this, it will be less than few bytes actually. See that, few kV, 8 kV. But this is the real merge layer. I said right, each layer get merged together and create one layer. That's a layer which I was talking about. Okay. So now if you go inside that, again it's a layer only, but it's a merge layer. Again, if you go inside this, under the diff directory, see why we have nothing. Why we have nothing? Because guys, remember the diff command, docker diff. Do you remember?
Yeah.
What was that?
Um,
To see what all things have changed from the inception of the Docker
Correct. No, container.
container. Sorry.
Yeah. So here, when you create a container, one layer got created. That is a merge layer. So where do you find all the files? So you will find the merge location. See here. So this place, what you see it here, is a basically, you see run is here. Basically, is a merge of all these layers. All these layers. How do you see that? Whether merge has happened or mounted or happened or not? Simple. df-kh. You see. Look at this here. This is the mount. In the host machine, you can see. Look at this end of it merged. So what happens? I told you, when you create a container, all the layers of the images get merged together and create one layer and mount it to the container. This is what happens. So can I create one more container quickly? Run -itd ubuntu. I'm creating one more container, and you see here 2. Now I'll show you the one beauty here. What happens when you stop the container? Look at this. ps docker stop, and you see here I'm stopping one container, gone. Again, can I start the container back? And you see here came. So guys, what happens is this user namespace, mount and network and PID, this get allocated dynamically. Yes, dynamically. When it is running, you need it, those stuff. When you don't need, you are not running, so you are just a mere of few files, nothing else. Nothing else for the host machine. So this allocations happens dynamically. Okay, so understand this way. So here I proved it, this points also. Here I said, when you create a container, all the layers get merged together into one, mounted to each container process. So that is what it happens. So now let me share some of the history commands so you can try it also later. Okay, so this is what it happens. So now with that in knowledge, let's talk about the next thing. So here guys, what happens? Higher layer always win when there is a conflict in layers. So what happens when you have 2 layers in the one image, and in one image you have a etc. Okay, you have a one file, let's say opt Raju. So let's draw the pictures. You'll have a better understanding, and you can help me out here. So let's say this is a one image. This is the one image, and let's say here you have a 2 layers only. Okay, and in this file there's one location opt, and under the opt there's one file 1.txt. Okay, and this layer also there's one opt location, and here also the same file name 1.txt. Okay, file name is same, but the content is different. Here I love India, and here you have a content I love Docker. The content is different. So now if someone create a container from this two layers, and here you get one merge layer. Okay, one merge layer you get it here. So this layer, merge layer, will have which file? I love India or I love Docker. Let's say this is a layer 0, this is a layer 1. So which one will have? I love India or I love Docker?
I love in India.
Yeah.
Layer 1.
Top layer, when there is a conflict, top layer always win in case of conflict. That's what I was talking about. So higher layer always win when there is a conflict in layers while creating a merges. Okay, now who's doing these merges? So basically this is accomplished through the union mount. Union mount means merging amounts, multiple mounts. Simple. So union mount is there in your Windows, there in your Linux. Okay, and they basically merge that and make these things happen. So what union mounts is doing? Union mount allows to mount multiple file system over top of each other. That's what I was discussing about it. But combining all of the layers, single view, means all the layers they will combine, and it will look like it's just an operating system, but it's not. It will look like it's operating system, but not. So that's because of union mount, it merges all the layers. You have a root file system plus XYZ applications and all. So it merges and create a kind of view, something like a regular everyday file system of operating system. It's create a view. So application get fooled thinking like, okay, listen, I am applications, I am getting PID, wonderful. I am getting network, wonderful. I am getting a mount, which is the root file system, wonderful. I get application file also, I get runtime environment also, everything I get it. So let me run independently. What is your problem? So that is what applications feel here. Okay, all layers are read only except the top layers. Yes, that's true. Remember, top layer means container. Containers are writable, except all the layers of the image is the read only. You cannot modify. Remember, you cannot modify the existing layer. But if you want to modify the writable layer, which is your container, you can modify, because you've been doing something modifications also, adding, change, deletions, anything you can do inside the container. Okay, so anything you can do inside the container because of the container layers is writable, and that is what I'm talking about here. Is all layers are read only except top layer. Okay, all of you are comfortable with these statements?
Rajesh, you really mean top layer as the top layer,
Top
right?
layer
Not
means
top layer.
what is
Only
that?
one top layer, right? Now you have written top layers in the one top layer, right? The one which is the container, the merged or the one that is created when you
Container,
run
yeah,
the container.
container
That's the
layer,
one
yeah,
you mean.
container, yeah, yeah. So when you merge this container, when you merge this container, these two get merged together. So one empty layer get created, and this merged container layers get added here. So here this is the top layer, and this layer is a merge layer. Got it?
Yeah.
So any
So guys,
number of layers that the top layer will
in
be modifiable, right?
yeah, any number of
Because
layers will be there in the images, but
yeah.
top layers will have a merge of all the layers. Merge of all the layers.
Yeah.
Top layer, which is a container layer, which is get mounted, df-kh, which I have shown you, getting all the layer merged together in one go. Okay. So now you see here, all the layers are read only. Top layer is a writable, which is your container. And you see here, boot file system where it is, it's in host machine, kernel. So see here, to run any application, you get entire ecosystem. You get a boot, you get a root, you get applications, you get runtime environment, everything you get it, and writable environment also you get it. So now you have to little bit read more about it. What is a boot? What is a root? What is a union mounts and stuff like that? And in a nutshell, this is the last image. So here you see image, you have a multiple layers. Each one of these layers is identify the unique ID, UUID. When you create a one container, you create one layer basically. That's a layer basically. That's a writable layer. That's a thin layer. and that merge will be there from all this layer will be merged together and create merge into the writable layers. And when you stop the container, merge layer will get deleted. When you start the container again, it will be merging on the fly. That's done by union mounts, and like that. Some of the commands which we have is images and history and inspect and all the stuff like that. So guys, did you understand the anatomy of images now? All of you?
Yeah.
Great.
Rajesh,
So
in your
guys,
diagram, in your PPT, there's one line written that the bottom layers can be shared by many containers.
yes, bottom alias means bottom the layers is shared by multiple containers, because from one images you can create multiple containers.
Okay. Shared by means what?
Shared by means what happens, I'll put it in a right definition. Let's understand this image. Okay, so here this is the image, and here you have a 4 layers. Image means read only, remember, 4 layers. This is 0, 1, 2, 3 layers have certain changes for the applications. Now these layers, when you create a container, these layers get merged together and power one, create one writable layers. Okay, under the merge directory there's one this merge directory, they get all merged together, and this layer get to see inside a container. So that means if you go inside a container, you will see everything here in the merge layer. Now same layer can be merged for other containers also, same process. So each container will share that one merge layer here, one merge layer here. Getting on points? So this is the read only, and but this is the writable. Are you getting understanding this?
Yeah. Okay. Maybe I'll check once. I'll create 2 containers and then see how does it go into
Yeah.
the full
You
distance.
go ahead inside this, you will understand this. Here, go inside this, which is a container layer. Here it is a container layer. Go inside this here. See, this is the merge one. It get deleted. If I stop the containers, it get deleted. So let me stop the container. I don't know which container is there, so I'm stopping all the containers. So here, see, got deleted. Now can I start this? So, and you see here, came here. So all this allocation happens dynamically with the help of union mounts. Any other questions, guys?
Along with that, you can access our other tutorials such as Docker, Ansible, Jenkins, Terraform, Splunk, AWS, Azure, and various other DevOps related premium tutorials with our channel membership. If you would have any issues with our channel membership, you can drop an email to us at contact@devopsschool.com, or you can also unsubscribe from channel membership anytime if you don't want to continue or did not like the video. To get our channel membership, click onto the join button, select the $399 plan and grow your skills immensely. Please be kind enough to like it, and you can comment any of your doubts and queries. We will reply to them at the earliest. Thanks for watching.